Remember, there are no right or wrong answers ever when you dig into these questions. What's important is that you're aware. This is the beginning of emotional intelligence, self-awareness. So pillar number 1 of the 6 pillars of mindful communication: know and own and be who you are. The 6 pillars of mindful communication is a support system as you become the most influential person you can become, as you do your best to motivate people and create those healthy human connections in business. So pillar number 1 is know and own and be who you are. And pillar number 2 is attune to the listener. And you absolutely want to do this as you prepare for the meeting you're ready to run, or the presentation, or the tough conversation you're ready to have with someone. Prepare and ask yourself the question, what matters to them? Why is this conversation important? And you also want to be able to attune to the listener while you're doing the presentation or having the conversation. And ask yourself the question, are they listening? Is connection taking place? And how are they responding and reacting? So pillar number 1, know and own and be who you are. Pillar number 2, attune to the listener. The 6 pillars of mindful communication, your support system, as you do your best to be the most influential person you can be in business. You may know by now that pillar number 1 is know and own and be who you are. Pillar number 2 is attune to the listener. And pillar number 3 is master your content. I think we all know content is king. So make it easy for the listener to understand. Ask yourself a couple of questions. Are you able to structure and organize whatever it is you'd like to share? Whether you're doing a presentation, running a meeting, or even having a hard conversation. Again, make it easy for people to follow. And also ask yourself the question, do they need a lot of details, or should you keep things more high level? So pillar number 1 of the 6 pillars of mindful communication, know and own and be who you are. Pillar number 2, attune to them, attune to the listener. And pillar number 3, master your content. Today, you're going to learn about pillar number 4 of the 6 pillars of mindful communication. It's called anticipate questions and reactions. An important one because you want to be as proactive as possible to ensuring that connection is taking place. So anticipate questions and reactions. This gives you an opportunity to do your best to get into their heads prior to heading in there to have that hard conversation, or prior to heading in there to do that presentation or run that meeting. What will they be wondering about? What will they be curious about? Also, you want to take time to not only anticipate how they're going to react and respond, you also want to make sure you take time to ask yourself, how will you react and respond? Especially when you broach challenging subjects like asking for money or having to tell people that they have to endure some type of change. So pillar number 4 of the 6 pillars of mindful communication, anticipate questions and reactions. Here's pillar number 5 of the 6 pillars of mindful communication. The pillars are your support system. They support and they guide you, whether you're ready to have a tough conversation, run a meeting, do a presentation. We communicate in so many different ways. And pillar number 5 is called serve when you speak. Seek the win-win-win. Of course, you want to win for you, but you also want to win for them. And you want to win for the third side. The third side, what might that be? It might be everybody in the company or everybody in the department. The third side might also be your relationship or just the greater good. Also, when it comes to pillar number 5, serve when you speak, it's your responsibility to ensure that understanding is taking place. So ensure that happens. Pillar number 5 of the 6 pillars of mindful communication: serve, be of service when you speak. I think you're going to like this one. Pillar number 6 of the 6 pillars of mindful communication. It's called detach with care. Now, clearly, you care already because you've taken time to understand the 6 pillars of mindful communication: know and own and be who you are, attune to the listener, master your content, anticipate questions and reactions, serve when you speak, and then you get to pillar number 6, detach with care. Detaching is the opposite of attaching. People feel it, by the way, when you're attached to the outcome. But you're detached, which means you're calm, confident, comfortable in your own skin. It also means you trust yourself. It also means that you're not going to overly concern yourself with things like perfection. There's no such thing as perfection when it comes to effective communication. Or perception, being overly worried with how they're thinking about you. You've already taken time to do your work, to understand your audience, to anticipate questions and reactions. So finally, when you get up there and out there to run the meeting, do the presentation, or have that tough conversation, again, you are detached from the outcome. And basically what you're doing is you're surrendering into the experience. And you're saying to yourself, well, we'll find out what is supposed to happen. I trust myself. I trust that I will hear the next best steps to take. The 6 pillars of mindful communication, they support and they guide you as you communicate in business in the 21st century.